Time to get down to the brass tacks. My name is Mel Sams. I'm the managing associate of Sams CPA, and we're located in Dunedin, Florida. Today I'd like to talk to you about an important subject that sometimes gets overlooked, and that's how to choose the right CPA. Oftentimes we ask a friend or family member or colleague for a name, or we talk to our attorney or our financial advisor. But what do you do when you get to that initial meeting with that CPA? What questions should you ask them? What are some things you should look for? These are all important notes that need to be addressed. So I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about when you're in that first meeting. Number one, if you're a business owner, or even if you're not a business owner, I would always say to ask that CPA, have you ever started a business yourself? Or have you always worked for another firm? There's really no right or wrong answer necessarily, but if you're a business owner, so often do things go outside of those lines of tax code and debits and credits and more into the operational aspects of a business. You want someone on your team who's been there, done that, and can give you practical advice on how to navigate those choppy waters. Number two, I would ask that CPA what their billing structure is. How do they charge you for their services? Do they charge by the hour? Do they charge based on the project? Do they charge you based on flat fee? Every one of these has a different ramification and can have a very different outcome. So it's important to understand that up front and have a clear scope of work that describes that. For instance, hourly billers sometimes can create unnecessary pressure on the relationship by looking at the client as simply a commodity. How many hours can I charge this person for? If it's not the right number, they might focus their time on something else. You have to be mindful of that. In a flat fee arrangement, you have to make sure that the fee is reasonable enough for both sides. You don't want a CPA who feels that they're not charging enough and therefore doesn't put in the proper energy, or you also don't want to be paying way more than what you're getting. All important things to discuss. With the pending legislation that's out there right now, we know that things are going to be different next year and for many years to come. So I would challenge you to do this. Instead of looking for that CPA in November or December, or even worse, January or February, after the year's over, I would consider looking for them in April or May. Do this early on in the year because a good CPA is going to track with you throughout the year and is going to benchmark and be right there with you and let you know where you stand as the year goes by. That way, when you get to the end of the year, there's no surprises. I like to say, I want the tax filings to be a formality. We're already going to know what they look like. No surprises. Because we've been tracking everything throughout the year and having regular conversations. These three things are very important to consider when choosing a CPA, and I would suggest that you ask these questions of not just a CPA, but any advisor that you sit down with. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future podcasts, please let us know. We really would like your feedback, and our contact information will be at the end of the video. I'm Mel Sams, and this has been the Brass Tacks.